Rock, roll, skate.
He wanna fuck with a shorty like me.
Hey, skitty. Hey, skitty.
He wanna fuck with a shorty like me.
What up? It's your boy EJ, aka 93. And y'all already know this is another episode of 93 Topics. How are y'all doing out there? Matter of fact, I don't even care how y'all doing right now because I got a special guest in the building right now, man. This person in particular is an awesome person to have on the show right now because we've been talking about doing this for a cool minute, you know what I mean? And we was wondering, like, man, if she gonna be a host, we don't know, she just gonna be a reoccurring guest, you know what I mean? It's all kind of different shit that we was thinking about how we was gonna use this person in particular, but she's here in person. I know y'all been seeing me do virtual interviews and shit like that and virtual podcasts, but this is an in-person person here with me today. The special cousin Brandy is in the building, man.
How y'all doing? I'm finally here. We've been talking about this for so long.
Yeah, super long.
Yeah,
and,
real long.
Yeah, we finally made this shit happen. And I think it's cool that we finally got to do this shit because it's like I feel like we with this whole pandemic shit too, like we taking shit for granted and shit like that. But this is one thing that we not about to do that with. You know what I mean? Podcasting, we gonna get this shit in. She here on the weekend. It's Saturday right now. We gonna talk about, I've been diving in on mental health, relationships and stuff like that. But I really want to get y'all to know who Brandy is because y'all gonna see her face, often. So the first thing I'm gonna ask Brandy right now is 3 words to describe Brandy.
Energy.
Okay, what else?
I'll say energy. I'll say determined.
Okay.
Very determined and dependable.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
You gonna hold me to that?
I'm gonna hold you to
call
that.
my bluff.
I'm gonna hold you to that, man. Because when it comes to this shit, being dependable is everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's everything. Yeah, because
it's a make or break for sure.
Yeah, off top. Like, so with those 3 things or whatever, what's your day-to-day, man? What you do on a day-to-day basis, man, in 2020? Like it's 2021 now, but in 2020, how did you operate and manage, like, just on a day-to-day basis?
I can't lie. The pandemic made me lazy.
It made you lazy.
Even though I just said energetic, the pandemic definitely made me lazy as far as my physical health.
Got you.
Like mentally, I'm still that same. Well, I guess it plays part in part, but like when it comes to my job, I'm working, I'm doing my thing. But as far as working out, I was consistent with working out before the pandemic, eating right, all that. Pandemic hit. I'm ordering in every day. Just laying on the couch watching all these every episode. I watched everything on Netflix.
That's for sure. All of us though. Like I gained about a good 30 pounds over this fucking pandemic. Like I was like 225 like before the whole shit. Like I was burning weight because I was like 235, 240 at a time. Start burning hella weight, working out every fucking day, like in the gym, hooping, all that shit. And then boom, pandemic hit, slowed me the fuck down. I wasn't eating no fast food, but when this shit hit,
bam.
Right, yeah. Like
it was a knockout. Yeah, I'll say I put on some weight. I started at 155. I was now I'm 170.
Oh wow! So 15, a light 15.
I mean, it's something. It went up a pant size too.
Yeah.
That's something.
No, for real though. That's definitely something though.
Like I used to fit this.
And you can't even fit it now. No, that's how it be though. This whole shit is like fucked up, man. Like how did 2020 affect you mentally? Like was it like something that kind of fucked you up, or was it like was it one of your best years? Or?
Mentally, I think this is my best year because I spent so much time with myself. You couldn't really go, hang out. You can't, any other people perspective you can't be influenced by anything else. You literally
That's true.
And I'm single, so I'm in the house by myself. Like,
Dang,
so I learned stuff that I picked up from habit, from dealing with other people that I actually realized I don't like that shit. You know, I don't really like this actually.
Like I'm cool on that.
I learned a lot. I learned that how selfish I am. I could tend to be very selfish. I learned that about myself, and just communicating, reaching out to family, like it makes you closer to. It made me closer to like reaching out to my family and making sure I'm telling people I love them. And, you know, you realize a lot lot about spending time by yourself, good or bad.
We call her cousin Brandy for a reason, man. It's family right here. Y'all, that's interesting you say that though, because when I was talking to Dwayne on that was my first podcast back or whatever. I did it like probably like 3-4 days ago or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's out right now, you know what I mean, on all streaming services, man, except Apple. So feel free to tap into that. But basically what we was talking about was just like being alone and how it impacted him. Like he was saying like that shit kind of fucked him up. You know what I mean? Like he was like, it's cool to have alone time, of course, but he was saying like that shit kind of it works into your favor, you know what I mean? But then at the same time, it don't work into some people's favor. Some people need that outside, you know, perspective and shit like that or whatever. Do you think you need that, like, to like go outside, go to the club, go, you know what I mean? Like, do you need that throughout like 2020 or 2021 coming out? Do you feel like you need to be outside, or is like, nah?
Not real necessarily outside, but you do need still to communicate with people, especially positive people at this time, you know, because you can go in the house working from home, staying at home, you could go in the house and go crazy, you know, in your thoughts.
In the crib.
But you definitely need that outside communication. I'll just because of the pandemic, I wouldn't say, you know, physical, but you know, if it's your immediate family, stuff like that, you need communication. You need socialization.
Socialization, fuck it.
We gonna keep it. Socialization. It's important.
You gotta have that.
Socialize. It is very important to socialize. You will go crazy in your own head. And I had those days where I was just fed up with myself. And you know, you cry alone. You know, I did a lot of crying in 2020 alone, just releasing stuff. You know? It's been interesting.
It's a wild year. Nah, that shit is crazy. Nah, but it's another thing of you saying that like you learned a lot of shit about yourself or whatever. That's dope, because for me, I always tell people, I'm like, I was single for damn near like 5-6 years. Like I was single for a long ass time, and shit, that was the best shit that ever happened to me, man. Like I needed that in order for me to love my girl the way I love her. I had to be single. I needed that. I needed to deal with certain females to kind of understand, like, all right, this chick, she acting like this. I don't want that. I wouldn't mind having that. You know what I mean? I get to point out different shit, and you deal with different people. You kind of learn and shit like that. You kind of form your own like your own thing of like, what do you want in a person? You know what I mean? Shit like that. And even yourself. Like I went to the movie that whole time. Like when I was saying I went to the movies by myself. I went to eat by myself. Like, and a lot of people don't do that, because I wasn't doing that shit like back in like before, like around that 6-year period and shit, when I wasn't in a relationship and shit like that. Like I wasn't doing none of that shit. Like I was with a whole bunch of niggas. I shouldn't even have been around all them damn people, you know what I mean? But then you realize, like, you get older and shit, you like, man, self-care, just having, you know, doing shit by yourself, that shit is hella important. So, like, get your self-care, get your physical exercise, all that, whatever you need to help you and becoming a better you know what I mean? I think that's important for everybody, you know what I mean? So, with that being said, another question I will ask you is, for 2020, you being single, I asked this question to the other guest we had, Noe, on the show. How is dating during COVID? Like, what is that like? Did you date during COVID? And if you did, how was it?
I started off COVID dating someone.
Got you.
And so I've been single since 2012. I haven't been in a relationship. Right.
Oh, so you just like me then.
I haven't been in a relationship since 2012. So, but I've been dating the whole time.
Got you.
But I feel like I haven't dated. Last time I dated, I think that ended in right when COVID hit. So like March, I believe.
Okay.
So I decided to take this time to myself. So I haven't dated anyone, formed any type of, physically, mental relationship with anyone outside of, a friendship.
That's right.
Since March, I believe it was March.
March.
So, but I needed that time. Like I'm just dating. I was just dating. And I didn't really know what I wanted, like I'm just dating just to kill time or just to pass time. But it's like, no, I'm compromising just because I want something to do. Basically, I'm doing it just to have something to do. Yeah. So it's been really, I've learned a lot about myself, not just being me. Just let me be in a relationship with myself right now.
That's
and
cool.
Then I can be better for someone because I got issues.
Hey man, at least you admitted the shit, man. At least
it's not them, it's me.
It's me. No, that's cool that you admit that though. Like what you think was that? Like how did the issues even start? Where was that? Where did that even come? Did it come from back in 2012 when you was in a relationship, or was it?
Yeah, it could started beyond that, with your parents, your friends, your siblings, you go through a lot in life. And that's what I realized. And it took me in 2020. This is one time I broke down cleaning out my closet. Who would have thought cleaning out your closet would have you breaking down? So I'm going through my clothes and I'm getting rid of the clothes that's too small, of course.
Yeah.
Baby thick now.
Hey, man, talking shit.
And
man.
I'm just realizing all the stuff in my closet outside of clothes. Like I just had stuff in my closet that I was holding on to. And I realized how much stuff I held on to and let it take up space in my life. And it was like, why is this stuff here? Why am I holding on to this? And I literally broke down cleaning my closet.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Say that like it was just the thought of seeing all the old shit that kind of
it just made me realize how much I was holding on to mentally, just to see the things. Like I just had random things that they were just, and I was complaining. That's what made me break down too. Cause I've been complaining about, oh, my place is so small. I don't have storage for anything. I don't have storage, but all this stuff, unnecessary.
Yeah, you don't even need it. Like,
and I've been holding on to unnecessary emotions, unnecessary anger, and unnecessary hurt, And
that's
I have
crazy.
to forgive. You have to forgive. You have to let go, or you will drive yourself
insane.
Crazy.
For real. Wow, that's a gem you just dropped right there. Though. No, it's because I never even heard nothing like that before.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But it all makes sense though. You know what I mean? Like it really makes sense on why you can break down the situation like that. And like, my question to you would be like, after the breakdown or whatever, like, how did you grow from that? You know what I mean? Like you seen what happened there when you broke down and all of that. Like, what was the steps to you like growing from that mental breakdown that you had?
Well, from that, nothing happens overnight. So I'm still holding on to certain things, but I've learned to let go of the unnecessary. The bigger issues I have to deal with. You got to tackle those. But the unnecessary things you hold on to, let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. If it's not serving you any purpose, if it takes you out of character, if it just destroys your energy, just let it go.
Okay. And that's your advice.
That's my advice. Let that shit go.
Yeah, man. That's real shit though.
It comes out like my face was breaking out constantly. And you eating. I probably was overeating because I'm holding on to stuff that I should have let go.
Damn, so that shit can affect even when you eating like your regular lifestyle.
Your whole life will change because you ain't let shit go.
Let shit go. Damn. Hey, y'all let shit go, man. Like that's important. Like get it all off your chest and shit like that. Did you ever like talk to anybody about like your problems or anything like that when it came to like after you breaking down or anything like that? Did you feel like you needed to talk to anybody, or like after the breakdown you was just like, I'm gonna handle this shit on my own. I got it. Like I'm straight.
I think that's been my problem. Like not expressing how I feel, like dealing with it with just myself. I do have my god sister as my best friend, and I tell her everything. She definitely, I gave her a call after the breakdown, and it's always good to have somebody like that in your corner. Like me and her have been friends since I remember. Like I don't remember her not being a part of my life. So you definitely need that person, that go-to person, whether it's family, friend, whoever. But yes, it just depends on the situation for me. Like I can talk about it depending on how deep of situation it is. But something like that, I always reach out. My god sister is just always there.
Got you. Well, I'm happy that you talked about that here, because you know what I mean, there's like people, like my whole point of this like podcast nowadays, because you know, like at first I was talking about bullshit. Like I wasn't talking about much of anything, like celebrities and fucking music and all this shit. But now I start realizing like we at a point in time where we need to be talking about like real life shit. You know what I mean? Like shit that people go through on a daily. Like, man, like I read this article where they were saying like the suicide rate is like way higher, and I didn't even understand like if I like it didn't click to me on like why someone would want to do that. You know what I mean? Like until you start realizing like this shit really keeping people out of jobs. Like it's like I was watching this thing where they were saying like even for like the homeless shelters and shit like that, like it's not the same anymore. Like the seating arrangement's not the same. They can't feed as much people as they want like they used to. They can't take in as much people as they want to. And they already at they low, you know what I mean? Like, so for them, it's nothing for them to be like, I'm gonna just take myself out or whatever. And that's like the worst. That we will never want that. We will never want that to happen. But it's like crazy to know what this shit is doing to us and shit like that. You know what I mean? So I'm just sitting there thinking like, man, this conversation is needed. Like what you saying is needed. You know what I mean? Like if you ain't got it off to anybody else and told anybody except your best friend, I'm happy you breaking it down to everybody on this shit, because people listening and they need that. You know what I mean? Like that's. And
it took a lot for me to even say that without being emotional. That took a long time for me to talk about things without getting emotional. And that's how I know, like, oh, I'm past that. That doesn't affect me anymore. So. Yeah, 2020 has been a mental battle for me.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, but it's good that we made it out the shit. You know what I mean? It's a fresh start. And with that being said, what is your 2021 resolution? Like, what are you trying to do for this year? What's your goals?
I don't believe in resolutions, but I definitely have goals. So this year it's all about saving to buy my house.
Got you.
House. So this year is house and just learning. I just got a new job, so I'm learning. Yeah. I'm in the real estate now. So I think this is the path that I want to go. Like I've been in banking for a while, and I think real estate is going to be my path.
The best move for you.
Yep.
Yeah. I actually been like on my other page, I'm putting people like on game with these like real estate pages and shit or whatever. And they got a lot of them like where it's like just breaking down like how you can get a house zero down, how you can get a house with like a low RPR rate. My bad, I'm saying that shit. APR, I'm tripping. I'm saying, look at me, I'm fucking up and shit. But APR rate and shit like that, like, and just breaking down like a lot of different shit, like people doing courses on like how to just build your credit and shit like that, savings, high yield savings accounts, Roth IRA accounts, all this shit that you probably already know about because you're in the banking field and shit like that. But I've been like bringing myself to light with a lot of this shit too, man, because I really want to own a property this year. Like I would love that. Like I'm here in Glendale, and I was talking to T about it and shit. Like we in Glendale and we pay a high ass rent, and we really paying a mortgage at the end of the day. You know what I mean? We paying a mortgage. I don't like the fucking traffic out here now. Like the traffic got crazy. Like everybody from LA coming to Glendale. Like it's getting crazy out here, man. Like, and I'm just like, I can't be living over here, man, for too much longer. Like when our lease up, I'm ready to dip and just get on by my fucking life, man, and be somewhere in a nice crib. Like that's really what I want. You know what I mean? And if we had to move into another apartment for one more year, that's cool. But I want a house, man.
Yeah,
I'm on that
yeah.
same type of
Eventually,
vibe.
you want your house.
Yeah,
If you
also.
paying $1 million rent,
No, that ass.
basically, and it's like I don't even
bro.
got a yard. Like, come on now.
That shit ain't even. That ain't even it.
It's yeah, but it's a lot of information. Like you can buy a house. Like it's a lot of programs and everything that people don't know about.
They don't know
research. Like
Yeah.
you can buy a house. You may think you're not qualified, but
Yeah,
it ain't as hard as you think.
it ain't as hard as you think.
You
man.
just got to be disciplined. That's one thing you got to be.
Yeah, and like, and even if you think about it, like if you have like a nice 10 to 15K, you could put down on the crib, you know what I mean? Like, and that's, you can get that too. Like, you really save the fuck out of your money, don't touch your accounts and shit like that. You know, that's possible. Like,
put down, stop buying extra. Don't buy the unnecessary
shit. Yeah, live below your means if you have to. You know?
Right, literally live. Don't get your nails done. Don't get your feet done a few times. That's a good 100 and something right there. Shoot.
For real though. For real. Like, what about like for you though? Like, since you working on buying a house, what are you doing to live below your means or do less shit to save more money? Like, is there any tips that you got on that?
Cook more.
Cook more.
Cook as often as you can. Working from home has been a big help. I'm not burning gas.
Got you.
Keep your car maintenance up though. Pay all your bills on time. Don't let nothing go past due. Now you paying the extra little whatever.
Yeah,
for real. Like if you don't need it, don't buy it.
Yeah.
Don't go shopping. I used to do it all the time. Like I'll just go to Target and just because I woke up today. Like, let me go to Target and
just buy some shit.
You end up $200 later. Like, dang, what I get and have nothing to show for it.
Exactly. That's
but if you don't need it, don't buy it. That's everybody's problem. Everybody want everything because everybody looking at the internet. Everybody, this person got this and you want it. No.
That's true.
If you don't need it, don't buy it.
That's some real ass shit, man. Like people legit look at other people's lifestyle on the internet and they like, I need that lifestyle, or I need to buy this because this person got this, or they feel like they in competition,
right?
And shit like that. And in all actuality, everybody move at their own pace too. You know what I mean? That's another thing. Like I had to realize that too. Like I be looking at other people's shit, like, man, they over here traveling to New York, and ooh, I can do that. Like that's real life shit.
It's
like
human nature. Yeah. You gonna want it. If you see it, you want it.
You want it. That's
you just gotta discipline yourself.
That's human nature, man. Like just wanting something that somebody else have and shit like that. And it's not even like when I did it, it was never on no hating shit.
Yeah, you like it too.
I like it. Yeah, like I want
that too.
I want to enjoy that shit. Like I want to see what the fuck this shit about. Yeah. So that was like a big thing for me. Like just learning that self-discipline for myself, man. Like that shit is crazy.
It takes time. It's not an overnight thing. It's gonna be a battle. Discipline is the hardest. Discipline and compromise, same difference. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it is. Like me, I had to when I started dating my girl the first time, and actually living with her and shit like that, I had to adjust my lifestyle because I always was I'm for myself type of person. Like it's all about me. I ain't really got to worry. The only people I really had to worry about is if my mom, my sister, I'll make sure if I can send something over to help them out, that was it. Like I ain't had to worry about nobody else. But then you live with your girl. It's now you got to understand, you in a household with someone else now, you know what I mean? Y'all got to learn how to be together and shit like that. And it took some time. It took a few months for me to really understand that shit, man, and evolve myself as a man. Like I wasn't a real man until I took on these bills head on. Like, you know what I mean? I was running away from shit. Like that's some real shit. Like I was running away from shit, man. Right. And I was finding any way to take the cheap route out. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't trying to boss up and get my own apartment, none of that shit. Like it took a woman for me to really understand that and do that shit. You know what I mean? Now I got a whole ass kid on the way. So I'm hella prepared, So, yeah, man. It's
You's the daddy now.
I'm a daddy now, man. I'm a whole ass daddy now, man. And I'm proud to say that shit. I feel like I talk about it every fucking episode. Like
that's good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm excited, man, because my daddy ain't shit. So
gotta
I gotta be all in with my kid, man, to never represent what, you know, he brought to the table, you know what I mean?
You wouldn't want to give your kid the feeling you had
growing
up without a father.
Yeah, that shit was horrible. But another question I'm gonna ask Brandy, and I'm gonna get it off my iPad. Shit, I'm gonna get it off my iPad. Let me see. All right, so this question I had wrote down. This question is gonna I'm gonna ask this question, then I'm gonna shift to something else. Okay. But this is mainly about like the pandemic and shit like that, because we already broke it. We went through we talked about relationships, mental health, like mental breakdowns, all kind of shit. You know what I mean? So we already talked about so much, but the last question I asked you about that is, when the pandemic first happened, like, how did it affect you mentally? What was your mindset when it first happened?
Just directly of my mindset about the pandemic.
Oh no, just like how did it like direct? Like, how did it affect you in a sense of like when it happened, and did it make any like dramatic changes in your life or anything like that?
Well, I started working from home, so I was excited about that. Oh, yeah. I didn't take it seriously. Honestly, I didn't take the pandemic serious. I thought it was just, you know, a flu or something. I didn't take it serious. But yeah, I was happy because I was working from home. That's literally what I was excited about. Nothing changed for me, but I'm working from home. You know, I was very blessed to be able to keep my job. You know, I'm very grateful for that. But it didn't affect me, you know, in a bad way. You know, like I lost a lot of people this year, but when it directly hit, you know, I was working from home.
At the crib with it.
I was excited about that. But yeah, I was very fortunate. I didn't you know, go through any of the financial hardships a lot of people through. Mentally, yes, but financial, no. Which was a blessing.
Yeah, that's always a blessing, because that shit, when you financially struggling, it fucks up your mental.
Right.
It's like you already going through some shit mentally. It just hit even harder. So yeah, God bless you. Shit, man. I thought you would have been at the house then.
No, I just got there mentally. Like when I tell you, I've literally, because I'm 31 now. So 30 is a strange age. Like I just turned 31 September. But 30, like some people feel grown faster, you know, earlier on in life. But I literally felt grown in my 30s. Like I actually feel grown. I know it sounds crazy because I've been grown, but I feel like I got this. I'll say that.
Got you.
So yeah, I've been, you know, keeping a roof over my head. You know, I have my transportation. I pay my bills. Like I'm able to maintain myself. So I actually feel like I got this. Like I'm not worried when something happens. It's like I got this. Like I've been through worse. Like, exactly. Like, I got this.
You holding it down.
Yeah.
And it took your 30s for you to.
Yep.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah. So to your 20s, what was you feeling like?
Well, I wasn't stable in my 20s, so I was living there from here. You know,
got you.
Jobs, hopping jobs, and you know, I didn't have a car at one point. I'm taking the bus. You know, now I was all over the place. I was,
and it was all a mental.
20
thing.
Was all mental, holding yourself back because you're holding on to stuff. Or I was so worried about what other people thought about me.
Got you.
That was a problem. Yeah. So, you know, that holds you back because you're nervous, you're scared, you know, you're insecure about making moves. So now I feel grown. It's just like, this is me.
No, that's dope though. That's dope. I used to hear like it was the saying where people say in LA 30s is the new 20s. And I think people will say that because like you're in LA, it's so hard to live out here. Mm-hmm. It's like when you hit 30, you begin to actually live your life. You know what I mean? When you hit your 30s, and this is only for like LA and New York and shit like that, like places where it's like literally the rent, you can't really find no shit that's like
reasonable.
Yeah, reasonable. Every place you at is like 1,500 and above. You know what I mean? So you really gotta have money coming in and shit, or at least like a stable job where you can pay your own shit or whatever. But I used to hear that saying a lot, like in LA, to your 30s to your new 20s, because you really begin to understand life in a whole different perspective and shit like that. Like in your 20s, you always feel like you got it figured out and shit. Like I'm 27, you know, and through from 20 to 25, I always felt like, man, I got this shit figured out. Like I always used to feel like that, but I wasn't even close to, you know what I mean, to having it figured out. Like, and I'm like, damn, like, and I sit here and I'm 27. I'm like, man, I'm beginning to feel like I'm beginning to figure shit out now, you know? So I guess that was like when I used to hear that saying, I'm like, shit, when I hit 30, I should be, you know what I mean? I should be in a way better mental space and I'll be able to really live my life like I'm in my 20s. So that's why I kind of always understood that saying. But it's interesting hearing it from you, you know what I mean? Because it's like most people, whenever I talk to somebody who's 30 and shit like that or whatever, it's usually they way at the bottom, like, and they just tanked, like they not even, you know what I mean, close, or they, you know, they up, you know what I mean? I never met someone in their 30s where they just like kind of in the middle with it, you know what I mean? Yeah, just in the middle. So yeah, it's and someone who admit that, like I'm in my 30s, that's when I started really, you know what I mean, living life though. That's crazy.
And it's different. Like 30, I wouldn't say 30 is the new 20. I would say, like how they say dirty 30. I was dirty in my 20s. 20s was dirty. It was dirty 20s. And 30, I'm different. I still do. It's mental. It's a mentally different place. Like I wouldn't do the stuff that I did in my 20s. But I think I'm doing funner stuff in my 30s than because I have it. You know, 20s, I'm going to the club hoping to get in before for free, you know, free before 11, because shit, I probably only got $10, you know. Like, then I gotta get a drink from somebody, you know.
Yeah. So, damn, that's crazy.
For real. Like, you know, you don't put gas in your car in your 20s. You be riding on E trying to hope to make
trying to get to where you
and ain't got no clue how you gonna make it back, you know.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's in your 30s, it's like I got this, you know, and it can be like it was challenging. It's a mental challenge if you don't, like how you said, you can either completely sink or rise in that. I feel like 30 is that mental break. Like, are you gonna push or are you gonna sink? You know, is you gonna swim or sink or swim? Like, 30 is the age. I'm grown. At 30.
For sure, you grown.
You know, you used to say it when you was a kid. Like, when you was 18, you turned 18, 21, I'm grown. Like, no, I was not grown. I was immature, irresponsible.
Hey, that's crazy. Now I think about it too, cause like when cause I work at a weed shop or whatever. So the one of the guards I work with, I'll be talking to him, and I think he said he's 34. So every time I talk to him, like I work up there like 16-hour shifts and shit. Like, so I'm talking to the guards that I'm with for hella long, you know what I mean? Right. We just chopping it up about life and all kind of shit. Like, and the other day he was like, man, he was talking to me and this other dude there, and he was like, man, I've been learning so much shit from you and this dude. Like, he was talking about me and the other guy or whatever, and he was like, bro, I just been putting me on a lot of game with shit. And mind you, you know what I mean? He's 34 or whatever. So every time I talk to him, he always telling me about like where he fucked up at and, you know, how he trying to make it better. And that comes with women, finances, like just making better decisions in life. You know what I mean? Like he always felt like he didn't make the right decision. Like, he cheated on some of his like girls that he thought could have been the one, and finances, he felt like he spent too much money on weed and shit like that, you know what I mean? And he was just, because I was talking to him about Bitcoin and Dogecoin and shit like that, right. And he's just like, bro, you gotta, put me on, like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to, like, I feel like I spend way too much money on weed and shit like that or whatever, and I just need to learn more. And I'm like, and I'm showing him shit, and he, you know, he's 7 years older than me and shit like that or whatever, but I always tell people it's not the age, you know what I mean? Because I got put on game by this dude when I started doing stocks and shit. He was 24 years old, like, and he was literally like running it down to me, like straight game, like, and he was putting a lot of money in my pockets by telling me a lot of these plays in the stock market and shit. And he was 3 years younger than me and shit like that or whatever. So it really didn't even matter or whatever what the age was. It was just like, you know, when I seen him and he was telling me that and he was listening to me and, you know, asking me for advice and shit like that, I just wanted to help him, you know what I mean? Because it was just like, I don't want to be in a situation where when I get to that age and I'm like thinking like, damn, you know what I mean? Where did my money go? What am I, you know what I mean? Cause it's going to come to that point. You know what I mean?
Nothing to show for all the stuff you've done. Mm-hmm.
I think like that too now. Like, I'm like, man, what do I have to show? And I put that pressure on myself. And you know, I'm 27. I be feeling like I'm hella old for some reason. Like, I'm like, damn, I can't. What the fuck? Like, yeah. I'm already knowing. It's just, it's that mental just being like, I need to just chill. I'm doing the right thing. You know what I mean?
On the right path.
I'm on the right path.
You in your zone and your speed.
Yeah.
Maturity, I think, comes with experience, not age.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's real shit. That's real shit. I feel like women, like, you know, to talk to you is crazy too, because it's like, I feel like women always like got that edge over dudes. Like, they're like, y'all just way smarter and just more intelligent than us. Like, we take like hella long to fucking figure out life, man. Like, we'll be 40 years old. Like, damn, man, I wish I would have got with Destiny back when I was 24. Like, should be crazy. Like, what the fuck took us to that long, bro? Like, that shit is insane. Like, y'all seem to just click on the shit way faster than dudes. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, it's interesting to hear you talk about your 20s and shit. You know what I mean? Because the 30s is like something to look forward to. But I guess you put all these like, you want to have all these accolades before you hit
a certain age.
Yeah,
you're never too old for anything. You are never too old to start whatever it is you want to start. You still alive.
Yep.
You still alive.
You still got life, motherfucker. Nah, that's real. That's real shit. Nah, like for you though, like what would be some advice that you would give someone who just, you know, hit their 30s and like, or who's about to hit their 30s, like they're 29 years old, they about to hit 30, and they ask you like, hey man, what it feel like to be 30? Like what or 31 or whatever? Like, what would be your advice for someone who's about to hit 30, or someone who's looking, you know, who's like asking you like about what 30s are like? Like, what would you tell them like about your 30s?
I would say, just from my experience, I would say slow down and focus.
Slow down and focus.
Because you have to find a balance at 30. You have to separate fun from responsibility.
Yeah.
You have to separate attention from respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say focus. Just whatever is in your head that you want to do, focus on it. Because time is going to fly. I mean, you're never too old for anything, but you want to mentally be on point in your 30s, because shit happens all the time. Like, I remember watching this show. I don't even remember what show it was, but it was a few years back. And I was talking to my god sister. I'm like, I stopped watching that show because it's always something. Like, they never just chilling on the show. Like, it's always something. Always and she drama. Was like, well, that's life. Yeah, and that was her simple act. Like, it's always something.
That's true though.
It's like shit. That's life. It's always something, and you want to be prepared for when something happened, because something happened. If you can't take it, you'll break the fuck down. Like,
that's real.
Like,
that's
you
real
will.
shit.
You wouldn't be able to handle it.
That's
you will have lost everything because you couldn't handle one situation. So just focus. Really focus on what you want in your direction, because baby, life will beat you the fuck up.
Yeah, that's real shit. I always say that, like, whenever my sister, I got that shit from my sister. My sister always be like, man, it's always something. Like, she always say that shit. Like, it's always something. And I'll be like, man, that's true, man. That's true. You gotta be. I'll be saying that bullshit, like, man, you gotta be prepared for it. But then when it's always something with me, I ain't prepared for it. Like, right. You know what I mean? But that's real shit. Like, in life is always gonna be some shit, and you just gotta know how to handle these situations. Cause shit, for the most part, I don't even, like, when I was dealing with a lot of the shit that I dealt with, I didn't know how to handle it, wasn't prepared for it. And I just had to, you know, you're gonna get through the shit eventually. It's either you're gonna break through or you're not, you know. So you break through the situations and you're like, damn, I wish I was more. And you're gonna sit there and reflect on it. Like, I wish I was more prepared for that situation, So, but yeah, so that's the advice you give someone that's going into their 30s.
Yep. And take time for yourself. Me time is always good. It's always good to take, even if you got 5 minutes, just even if you wake up in the morning, set your alarm clock a little earlier just so you can prepare yourself for the day, because some shit could happen.
Yourself right. Yeah, no, that's real shit. That's real shit. No, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm fucking with that. I'm happy that you was on this shit with me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, this was dope, man. Cause you actually the first guest that I had with me like in house in a minute. It been like 4 or 5 months since we did. Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a while since we did a podcast, but I already did 3 in like a week. So I'm not fucking around. Yeah, I ain't fucking around. I'm trying to I'm trying to keep it rolling. Like, I'm not even about to stop. Like, and this is gonna be cool though. So I definitely want to make it like if you come down every weekend type shit, or if you know what I mean, it don't have to be every weekend, you know what I mean, whenever you can type shit. Or
because I plan on getting a man eventually.
Hey man, when you do get him, you know what I mean,
got something to talk about.
Now you got something to talk about, man. You got something to talk about for real. But shit, like even like when you do get your mans, you still got to come by, meet us, man. We fam. Definitely. You got to come meet the fam. So
I'll be so excited to have one. You gonna be everywhere.
Nah, man, you gonna get your mans, man. Don't even trip.
I ain't tripping.
It's gonna happen. When it happens, that motherfucker gonna be crazy. It's gonna be somebody that's really worth it. You know what I mean? And last question before I leave, man, because I wanted to even top on that. Like, what are you looking for in a man? You know what I mean? I know you ain't out here searching for nobody or nothing, but what's like some things that you looking at when you a dude coming up to you?
They have to be stable.
Stableness.
Responsible.
Okay.
Financially, mentally. I physically, you don't have to be in the gym every day, but I don't want your stomach hanging.
So you don't
just
want no
in
fat
good
dude.
shape. Not, you don't got to be all swole and stuff. But
so no fat guys can get a chance with Brandy.
No, I'm not saying that, because you
said his stomach. You don't want it.
I mean, in a perfect world.
Okay, got you. In a perfect world.
No, because if we can connect on a mental level, that can change your physical perspective on someone majorly. So
that's true.
I'll take that back.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely stable and responsible. That is key. You have to be affectionate. I'm very affectionate, so
got you.
I like affection.
I feel like that's something that's in y'all family.
Everybody's affectionate.
Yeah, like y'all family just
we're really affectionate.
Real affectionate people, man. Like, that's just crazy. Okay, so affection, and what else?
And just, you gotta have drive. You gotta be doing something. You don't have to be a baller, but you have to be good at whatever it is you're doing. You gotta be putting your all into it.
Got you. Okay, that makes sense. When you do get that, man, what do you look for consistently as y'all continue to strive to be the best company? Okay, grow. Got you.
We both need to be growing, actually.
Got you.
We both have to grow together. I don't want to be looking up 5 years later. 10 years later, and we still doing the same.
Yeah, that's
or got the same problems from 10 years.
Yeah, that's
so we got to be constantly growing together.
That's outro. That's outro. Okay, I like that. I fuck with that. What's the last question I was gonna ask you? I told you I was gonna ask you one question, and that was gonna be that. But it's always interesting to find, like, when you talk to somebody like about like what they look for in a person. I always want to know, because I always think, I don't know if you ever seen that show that Chili from TLC. She had her own little reality TV. Then she had like this whole like checkbook.
She had a list.
Shit.
I don't believe in the list. I heard that, and they be like I've known some women. I'd be like, oh yeah, I had this list, and I got this man from this list I made, and I'm like, but that nigga.
Yeah, he ain't all that.
Oh, what you put on that list?
He is not all that.
Right, y'all not together no more. Like, what girl? Burn the list. Burn the list.
Burn the list. It's a wrap. So you ain't got no list.
I don't have a list. I don't have a list. I'm more. I can say what I want, but I'm kind of go with the flow. Not depending on how the flow going. You know, I'm more go with the flow. Let's fill each other out and see what we can where we can compromise.
Okay, go with the flow. Okay, I'm with that. so when you all right, so this is a question that I was thinking about too. When you look at a man or whatever, and you see him, he come up to you, whatever, he chopping up with you. What's the first thing like when he come up and talk to you? What is the first? Are you looking for like a certain type of energy when he come up to talk to you? Are you looking at his face? Like what are you looking at when you first see this man that's trying to come up to you and you thinking about giving him a possible chance or shooting a number off to him? What are you looking at? What's the first thing that you?
Well, the first thing I think for man and female is physical.
Physical.
You gonna look at physical, or are they sleep with a boss? That's the first thing. I feel like I don't know if everybody else.
I'm just saying.
Look at physical first. That's the first thing I'm attracted to.
I'm the same way. I was just seeing if you was the same because I hear a lot of females talking about, his personality, not his looks. And
no, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's cap. That's some cap. Yeah, because I always be like, I'm like, your first thing you're gonna look at in a person when they come to talk to you and they ask if your number, are they flirting with you or anything, like you're gonna look at the physical because you're like, what is this for? Is this person even like if I wake up to this person, like are they even worth like you know
anybody that says that is full of it. You are looking at physical. I'm not looking at your personality. You just said, hey baby, can I get your number out?
Yeah, that shit.
Might got some personality behind that.
Exactly. It might be some personality behind that for real. No, okay. That's interesting. No, so another thing I would ask is like for Brandy, what this whole podcast shit and all that. How was your experience with this podcast? Are you still nervous?
I'm not. I was nervous at the beginning of the podcast. I feel looser as the conversation. I still kind of got a little jittery. I'm still a little, not jittery, just kind of standoffish. I feel, but it's definitely. I'm more comfortable in the conversation than I thought I would be.
Got you. Yeah, no,
I've been more open than I thought I would be.
You did a solid job, man. Shit, I was like, because originally, story I want to tell people. Originally, when we first had the idea of bringing you on. I think that was the day. I don't know if you was drunk or not. I don't know what the fuck.
They got a different me when they thought of that.
It was definitely a different you or whatever.
I keep saying I wasn't tipsy, but I was toe up.
Yeah. You was toe up. Something. I was like, she was turned the fuck up, man. And then she came. I was at the rooftop, I believe. Mm-hmm. And you was just super lit, like talking to all my friends and shit. Like that shit was crazy, man. Like I remember when I first met you or whatever on the phone, over the phone. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what to think about you. I was like, I don't know, like she like real in my face type shit. Like I was just like, I didn't know what to think about you, man. And then when you came, I'm like, well, shit, she kept the same energy. Shit, nothing changed. She was still on the same shit she was on the phone. Right. So that's where I kind of like, it was like, because TT died and like she died and fuck with you. I was just like, nah, man, she just real in your face. But she kept the same energy that, you know what I mean? It wasn't nothing changed. Like, you know, and then the next time I met you, you was quiet. Like you wasn't talking it. Like you were barely talking. Like, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, it's a whole thing. Like, who the hell is this? Like, it's a whole 360 change. Like, what's going on? Like,
I think I was tipsy though. The first 2 times is when we was on the phone. Wasn't that like, was it Mother's Day? It was a holiday.
It probably was
because my mom and them was over my house.
Yeah. People over.
Yeah, we was toe up. I think it was Mother's Day. So the first two times you had drunk Brandy.
Drunk Brandy. That's crazy, man. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this shit is crazy. I'm like, out of all the family members I met, I'm like, yo, she on 10. Like, this is some whole different shit. But I was like, when I seen you the time when you was quiet and shit, that was sober you. It was more chill, more laid back and shit like that. Like right now, chill, laid back. So like, what that's like, yo. So the sober you gives you more turned up, and then not sober. The drunk you is more turned up, and then the sober you is like chill and mellow.
I'm so chill. Chill. Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's like Mr. Jekyll. What is it called? Ooh. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Hey, I don't know what the hell that is. Hey, whatever fucking shit. It's whatever. But I get what you're saying though. Like it was like whoa, like it was crazy to see that. Like, but I like both sides. You know what I mean? Because that's what a podcast is about. Like some days you gonna hop on and it's just like chill. You know what I mean? Like just like this, just chill, just talking. You might have that turned up podcast. Like,
we do a after hour.
Yeah, after hours and shit. Yep. going reckless.
Get another
that shit was crazy, man. I was like, yo, this is one hell of you're an experience, man. Like, so I feel like any dude that dates you gonna have one hell of an experience, man, for sure. Because that shit.
I don't know if that's good.
that can be a good. That can be a good and it can be a bad, man.
That sounds like a roller coaster.
For sure, a roller coaster. Unless your ass stop drinking or some shit, you a roller coaster.
I'm a roller coaster.
but that shit can work though. Like it can work for some niggas. Some niggas like that type of shit.
Yeah.
I feel like almost every nigga like they need a little hint of crazy in their girl, man.
Yeah, I think guys like crazy.
Yeah,
y'all deny it, but y'all like crazy.
Yeah, I'll be lying.
Not crazy. I'm busting your windows out and stuff like that. But
yeah, just a little on the wild side of things, man.
Yeah.
Like you could. I need that little spice, man. I can't be with no boring ass chick. Like one of the homies, every time he bring a chick around, he rarely does. It's rare, like when he bring a chick around, but when he does, they're boring as fuck. Like and they just plain Hispanic women, like they're just boring. Like they're not even like fun. Like damn, you somebody
gotta
born
have some
shit.
kind of personality.
Yeah, like shit, you come around, they just don't talk. Like I'm just like, nah, I'm not with that. Like I'm like having that spot. Like whenever somebody meet T, like they know, like that's the energy. Like energy is everything. Like I need that energy in a woman. Like if I don't got that, because I got hella energy. When I'm turned up, I'm turned up. Like,
right.
So I need that to match. Like if it don't match, then you know what I mean? What the fuck I'm doing with you? Yeah, like it just.
But for some people that balance. Like one is energetic and one is just laid back. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say I'm the laid back one for the most part in the relationship, but it's like I have my moments when I turn up. So that's why I'm like, it still gives us a good balance because I'm laid back at times, she laid back at times, I'm turned up at times. Then we can both be turned up and shit, so it all work out and shit. But I think that's what you need, man. Like, you need that. You need a roller coaster. No. You don't need a roller coaster.
Oh,
man.
no.
You need like a laid back dude or something, man.
Yeah, I need somebody that's gonna chill out and let me be whoever I decide to be when I wake up in the morning.
Exactly. Yep. And say he gonna take you for whatever you is, man. Because
roll with the punches.
Roller coasters, y'all gonna be arguing and shit, and hell no, that ain't even you don't need that.
We off the track.
You don't need that, man. You don't need that. And so, all right. So, last question, I'm gonna ask you for real this time. This is the last question. So, what is some advice you would give someone that's seeking like mental health advice, like for 2021, going into the new year? What is some advice that you would give someone that's like who need that right now?
Go talk to someone. Get a therapist. get a therapist. Don't be embarrassed to say you are seeing a therapist. If you feel like you need help, get the help you need. Don't be shy about it, because it's going to hold you back. It's going to set you back, and you're going to be in this negative and bitter space forever. No.
Forever.
Or if you don't feel comfortable reaching out to get mental help from, a psychiatrist, reading can open your mind. Reading can change your perspective. Reading can bring some happiness to your life. Yeah. Read, meditate, work out. When I worked out, like, it's the biggest stress reliever. Working out.
Oh, really?
Even during it, you like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to complete this. But when you finish working out, you feel good. It changes your whole day. You walking around like bonjour.
That's real shit though. That working out do help.
Yeah, work out, read a book, talk to a friend, just get it out, get it off of you. Like even crying, like when you cry, if you notice, like after you cry, you feel light.
Yeah, you sure do.
Yeah, just find whatever you feel comfortable with letting that emotion out. Find it and do it, because you have to let stuff go.
100. Okay. I fuck with that. And thank you, Brandy, for coming out to my show. Thank you so much, man. I would love to have you for a host when I get other guests on here and shit like that. That'd be hella lit. You know what I mean? Cause
you saying that just because I'm family?
No, man, no. Like, that's a part of it too. You know what I mean? Because she not.
They trying to get a good baby shower gift.
Hey, and another thing, she not about to let me have those fucking female guests up in this motherfucker. Hell no. She
by default. By default.
Brandy is the host. No, I'm fucking with you. Because if anything, she can just be the, you know what I mean? She can be that. Yeah. But I want you in particular because it's just good to have someone who can talk about multiple subjects and shit when they get the serious or even when they get the fun. You know what I mean? Like, you can talk about all kind of different shit. So, and then having guests on, you get to pick minds of other people with me. You know what I mean? So we both enjoy the shit together and shit. It make for a good show.
Yeah, this was good. I don't think we ever talked. You know, we talked before, but we never had a deep conversation.
Deep conversation. Yeah. And
this is nice.
Yeah, and we definitely capable of doing that shit. We grown. For real. Like this ain't like when you say you 18 and you say you grown.
We actually grown.
Real life grown. Yeah. So Michelle, thank you, Brandy, for coming out. Appreciate you. I'm gonna ride this shit out with with my theme song. And
for having me.
Yeah. Any last words before you leave this motherfucker?
All you single guys out there? No.
Oh shit. She ain't fucking around, man. Hey, if you had an Instagram, they'll be flooding your shit, man. Do you have an Instagram?
I do not.
You might have to make one, man.
I might.
You might, just because if you like a legit host on this motherfucker, you might have to make one.
All right.
Because I'm gonna have to tag somebody. Like my host don't got an Instagram.
My host not on social media. Check my MySpace page now.
She's on MySpace. Like, damn, you might for sure gonna have to make one. But it depends. It all depends on how consistent you come through and shit like that or whatever. And
feedback.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I know for a fact, like, you know, people gonna give a good response to you and shit just off the fact of like how well the convo is. Like, usually when I have a good convo episode, like, people usually like, yo, that was dope. Like, y'all talking about some shit. Like, you know what I mean? So the feedback and just the consistency, that's really it. You know what I mean? I know this a little push for you too. You all the way in where long.
But it's actually only a 30-minute drive on a weekend.
Oh yeah, because it ain't really
it's
traffic.
Not heavy
like
traffic.
That.
I was just a little late.
Okay. And I ain't tripping, man. Phil, you know what I mean? On Saturdays I'm off, so get here late as you want. I don't give a fuck. Shit, I'm here, I'm chilling, and I just be wanting to stay consistent with this shit because that's really what it's all about. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna talk to you about some shit off camera. We can get paid, you know. Get paid. No, but yeah, I'm gonna send y'all out, man. It's 93 Topics. Your boy EJ, Brandy in the building, our special guest, and can be, you know, our host too, you know, my co-host and shit like that or whatever. So stay tuned for that. And new episode coming out on Sunday with Noemi, man. So y'all stay tuned for that. And I'm gonna ride it out.
rock, roll, skate.
Fuck with a shorty like me.